Sumita, how about you go up next?
Thanks. I'm so happy to go after Belinda. And Belinda said all these nice things, but like seriously, she's so I consider her a mentor and a friend, and we have never met. One day we will. But what's amazing is, I love following her because our styles are so different. She's so organized. She had a PowerPoint presentation. I'm just going to randomly talk. And I don't know if I'm going to take up the full 10 minutes. So Tori and Xavier, you're good. Don't worry about it. So, I was looking over the questions Shannon sent, and then I got a text from Christina. She's like, "Are you coming?" I was like, "Yep." Oh gosh, I better wash my hair. That's what I was thinking at that point. I was like, "All right, I'll look good for these guys. It's not just COVID Zoom. It's got to look good." So I got my shirt. I washed my hair, so I'm good.
Thank you, Sumita, for doing that. We appreciate it.
No, I mean, Christina was just like, "Are you coming?" I was like, "Yeah, I was going to come anyways," but I was like, "Okay, let's wash the hair." So, my background is kind of like Belinda's in so much that I took like a career pivot. So I tell people, when I was talking with Sarika about joining the EMBA program, like seriously, the first question I had was, look, am I going to be the grandma in the class? Because I'm going to be in my 40s, so I cannot be the oldest person in the class. I can't have like a bunch of 20 somethings or early 30 somethings. And she assured me that I would not be. And it was true. I was not. So I felt very welcome. They do a really good job of, diversifying, not just the geographic spectrum and the industry spectrum, but also the age spectrum. And I thought that was very important because you want to be able to like make references to bad 80s movies and have people understand them. It's important. Those are the kind of things that, you connect with. So thank you, Sarika, for taking that call. That random call in February, and for helping me talk through my own emotional insecurities about my age at that point, going back to school after, gosh, I think it was like a decade. So what was my reason for joining the MBA program? It really was, I've been purely technical my whole career, and I've always been in these meetings where they're like, oh, that's cute. You're the technical person, but you're not the business person. And I just found it so offensive and infuriating because I was like, dude, I could do what you do. Can you do what I do? And it just like, when you start thinking that way, it's like, okay, well, I would bitch about it to my sister. And she's like, all right, that's enough complaining. Are you going to actually action and do something about this? And that's when I said, okay, you know what, let me go and find out what this whole MBA thing is about. And that's when I started looking at the programs. And I live in Texas, so naturally I should have gone to UT Austin. It's a great school, but I just really could not bring myself to stay in Texas for my MBA program. I really wanted to branch out, and UCLA has the global network. Texas does too, but when you think of global reach and really getting diversity, UCLA checks that box really well. And when I came to, sit in on the classes, when Shannon started off talking about share success, that and think differently, and just the mottos behind Anderson, they actually live it. I sat in the 2020 class and they welcomed me to dinner, and it was just amazing. Like I got to crash their party and they completely welcomed me, and the food was fantastic. So that's the other thing. When you guys do get to go on campus, the food is absolutely to die for. You'll gain like 20 pounds, but it's worth it. Totally worth it. So, so that was kind of, my decision point. And then a little bit about me. So I do something like crazy radical every 10 years, I guess. So in my 20s, I said, okay, screw this. I'm not going to be a programmer anymore. I'm going to go join the Navy. That was after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Fantastic move on my part because it gave me focus. And then in my 30s, I was like, wow, I really enjoy this. So I went to go work at the National Security Agency. And that was even more fun, doing all that cool spy stuff. And then after doing that for a while, I was like, all right, we got bin Laden. Now what? It's like, all right, now what? So you got to think about what are you going to do to leave a lasting impact? And that's what really drove me into the MBA. And in my 40s, I really wanted to embrace something challenging. And becoming an entrepreneur is, oh my God, it is totally challenging. It's taking a risk and going off the deep end. But what's great about Anderson is that it allows you a safe space to do that. I see Tanya's in the audience as well. So I was able to join a program that Tanya runs because of COVID, because of the Zoom environment. She runs, it was called LA Startup Boost at the time, and now it's called Founders Boost. And so all of these opportunities were open to us during the program. And part of it was taking advantage of the fact that, hey, the entire world is going through, she also laughs at the age jokes. Thanks, Tanya. Everybody was going through this like awkwardness together. And because of that, you're kind of seeing people's resiliency. And that's a great opportunity to see, hey, how do people handle when shit hits the fan? Like, how do people handle themselves? How do they behave? And that was what I was seeing is like people's character. And it was really nice because it gave you an opportunity to know, okay, wow, my judgment on some of these things were right and some of them were wrong, but it allowed you to understand, wow, this person, I want this person in my corner all the time. And Belinda's one of those people for sure. So Tanya is one of those people. So it's good to meet those people and find out, okay, wow, these guys are going to be with you and you can call them anytime and they're going to help you through it. Let me give a shout out to a couple of programs here because I think it's really important to emphasize that it's not just the Anderson Venture Accelerator. Trish and Janet are fantastic. I did the Summer Activate program, but what we really got the most from was the cross-campus collaboration. And that is so important because, you could spend your entire time just being in Anderson and you could have that as your silo, but you're doing yourself a disservice by not exploring the rest of the school. I mean, UCLA has a design school. Did you know that? I had no idea until I started looking for a designer. There's a design school. There's a fantastic engineering school. And that's who we started working with in the cross-campus innovation challenge that Professor Terry Kramer runs. And because of that, we were able to find the idea. It's not even my idea for the company that we founded. So we thought, okay, wow, let's do this med tech, cancer diagnostic startup. And we originally started off with the name X Out Cancer. And I kind of want to tell you guys, wow, we thought we were so clever with that name because we were using exosomes, we're outing cancer, and it was so clever. It's a concatenation. And then we joined the UCLA Biodesign program that's run by Jennifer McHaney. And Jennifer was so polite, so nice about it. And she just very gently nudged us to reanalyze our name and said, do some introspection. Have you ever heard of a cancer diagnostic company with the word cancer in their name? I was like, don't, we have to change our name. So we changed our name to Nur Labs. And the reason why we picked Nur as the name is because Nur means light, and our technology is photonics-based spectroscopy. So it seemed to fit, and it was just a much more positive connotation. And those are the kind of things that you would expect to hear from Anderson, but I heard it from Biodesign because everyone at Anderson was like, oh, that's a cool name, X Out Cancer, great. And they loved it. They drank our Kool-Aid. So it's good to get an outside perspective sometimes. And they will tell you, wow, maybe that's not such a great idea. Maybe you won't succeed as far with that. So the Biodesign program is what we did. And I can't say enough good things about that program because it allows you to really work with UCLA Health, to work with UCLA Engineering, as well as UCLA Anderson. So these three pillars came together to form, the foundation for Nur Labs. And I think that we could not have done it without all of these wonderful people. George Abe is one of them, Shine Rock's another person, just coming together to help us move forward. I will pass it over to Tori because I think I've talked for a very long time, much longer than I intended to.
Sumita, this is great. And I think this was one of the reasons I wanted you on the panel because you have done something that I think I've seen other students do, but you really use that cross UCLA campus, and took advantage of all those ways to engage. So thank you for sharing.